Hi, and welcome back to the Definitive Michigan High School podcast on swimming. This is State Champs Michigan's Poolside Podcast. My name is Lorne Plant, the executive producer of the State Champs Sports Network, David Zulkiewski with MISCA, a.k.a. the Michigan Interscholastic Swim Coaches Association. He's also a Bloomfield Hills High coach and my co-host. What's up, David?
Not too much. Happy to be back. Had some great meets this week and revving up, getting ready for some big invites in the next week. So happy to be back and excited to talk to Ricky today.
All right, well, there it is. Joining us on the podcast today is the head coach at Birmingham Groves High School. And I must say, I am very happy that someone has no problem with people addressing him as Ricky. We just don't have enough Rickies in the world.
Absolutely. I went into the professional world going in as Rick, and some people buy that, but swimming world, everybody knows me as Ricky, so
okay.
It's stuck.
There you go. Ricky Forrest, how are you today? We appreciate you joining us.
I'm doing all right. I'm happy to be here and talk some swimming. This will be
That's
fun.
right. It's the end of a week. Lots going on, so let's get to it. And on the show today, Coach Z and Coach Forrest are going to talk about the meet that State Champs actually covered on Tuesday, January 25th, between Groves and Seaholm. We'll also chat with him about expectations for the Oakland County meet coming up. But first, Poolside is presented by Lawrence Technological University. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports. Athletic and academic scholarships are available. Recruit yourself at LTUathletics.com. Poolside Michigan is also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association. The MHSAA is looking for officials. Great part-time pay. Stay in the game. Visit MHSAA.com for details. The Michigan Army National Guard, the official military outlet of the MHSAA, is also a partner, as well as the physical therapy and sports medicine pros with the Detroit Medical Center. I encourage you guys to check out our Game Changer segments featuring terrific training tips on how to prevent injuries. Segments drop Fridays across the State Champs Network, including our State Champs TV YouTube page, so give them a like. And if you're in pain or injured, for immediate care, go to dmc.org/gamechangers. Okay, we have Birmingham Groves head coach Ricky Forrest with us today, and just so our audience can get to know a little bit about what you are about, can you talk about, your past as a swimmer first and then your journey into coaching? I know they do cross both your swim days and your coaching days.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much why most of us get back into swim coaching, because it was so fun for us at a young age. But I learned when I was 7 years old, and I did sports kind of like everybody else. And in high school, I grew up in Lake Orion, and I had some great success with my team. Ended up being a state champion in the 500 freestyle. I had top 5 finishes for our school once, and then I got a half ride to Michigan State University, and I competed there collegiately at Big Ten level. And I wasn't really looking to get into coaching, and when I graduated in my degree of education, came back home, started teaching, and they needed a swim coach, and I basically got pushed in, and I've been doing this ever since I was 22. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, David, there is such, we have had so many former Michigan State swimmers and those involved with the program. It's crazy. It's like this program goes away, and it's like it seemed like it was giving so much to the swim community. It just it emphasizes it more and more once we hear from guys, and I didn't know that about Coach Forrest.
Yeah, it really does. You see these coaching trees, whether it was, me coming out of Eastern Michigan, you find dozens of coaches that came out of Coach Lynn or Coach Jones's program.
Right. Another
like
example.
Ricky. I mean, there's so many guys that swam for Michigan State, benefited from those opportunities. And that's why it's such a bummer, that some of these programs have disappeared, because look at what we're doing. We're giving back to the community. We're sharing that love of that sport. And now, a lot of people are either heading out of state or, maybe you're fortunate enough to find something in state. But yeah, it's a bummer. But great to see all these guys getting back in the pool and coaching with us. So.
Yeah, I know, and I'm sure you're real tight with with the guys that you swam with, in college, and those relationships stay, and so you guys always have that to keep it alive, as it were.
Yeah. You go to a state meet, and I'm sure Ricky, you're the same way. It's always like that guy went to my program. That guy's, that young lady coached, I swam with her at this college and that college. You kind of, you keep a tally, of all the people that have come out of the different college programs. So,
yeah. Okay. Coach, I'm sure you agree. You're nodding your head. So,
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you're talking about your buddies that you kind of grew up with and trained with all your life. And, I was funny. Like, I just got married a couple of years ago, and 7 out of my 9 groomsmen, besides my brother-in-law and my other brother-in-law, they were swimmers with me. So, consider them all brothers, really. So it's a special sport, and you develop a special bond amongst your teammates.
That could be a whole nother podcast. Should your in-laws be groomsmen? Let's just take it there. No, I'm just kidding. We won't start that. That'll be another show. All right, 9 seasons as the boys swim and dive coach at Groves. You sent me some info. Appreciate that. You got 2 OAA league championships, 4 top 4 finishes at the D2 state meet, including runners-up in 2019. And you were the Miska Zone 1 Coach of the Year in 2017 season. What did that mean to you?
That was really exciting because that was the first year I took over as the head coach. The years prior, I was the assistant coach here. And it was really cool because, their coaching peers basically vote that in. And that meant a lot to me coming in as a head coach my very first year, that they kind of respected me as what I did at Birmingham Groves as first year coach. So it was really cool to receive that award.
All right, fantastic. Okay, we're going to get to, in just a second, I'm going to turn it over to the coaches as they break down the Groves Seaholm meet and get into some other stuff. I do have a few more sponsors I need to read, so I'm going to get those out the way right now so that we'll be done with it. Poolside's also brought to you by the Detroit Athletic Club Foundation's Male and Female Athlete of the Year Awards. Are you an elite student athlete with good grades and represent leadership on your team and your community? Well, you could be nominated, but you can't be nominated unless you apply. So what you need to do is download the application at dacathleteoftheyear.com and send it in today. In fact, both you gentlemen, if you have swimmers, then swimmers are always represented at the DAC Awards. It seems we always have quite a few that need to apply. You make sure they go ahead and do that. The deadline to apply is March 4th. And we always have a beautiful red carpet gala at the DAC in downtown Detroit, hosted by yours truly here. And that takes place June 6th this year, so we're excited. Another final sponsor to the show, a new sponsor, Goodman Acker Law Firm. During the most difficult times of your life at Goodman Acker, you work with the same attorney and team the entire length of your case. They fight for you just like they would a member of their own family. Experienced, ethical, aggressive. Mention you heard about Goodman Acker on State Champs, and they will provide you with a free assessment of your case. Goodman Acker, good decision. Call 1-800-TRUSTED. Once again, we thank all of our partners in supporting the Poolside Podcast. All right, well, on Tuesday, January 25th, 2 rivals got together in the pool, the Battle of Birmingham, as it were, Groves and Seaholm. You can watch some of the video right now on State Champs Network. David, the floor is yours.
Yeah, boy, Ricky, you lived it. But I looked down these results, and my first thought is just exciting races all the way through. You needed every swim and every dive. Could have used maybe one more diver, huh?
Yeah.
But you needed everything. This is a meet that you're probably in that locker room talking to these guys about. Gotta get your hand on the wall before the guy next to you, and no 6th place finish, right? Because you get 0 points on that 6th place finish. But yeah, top to bottom, I was really impressed. What were your thoughts going in, Ricky? Let's start there.
Yeah, going into the meet, I knew it was going to be a very close meet, and I was nervous about it. A couple weeks prior, and usually you handle it one meet at a time, and I still did. But I'm not going to lie to you, it was in the back of my head all week, and going into the meet though, I basically told the boys in the locker room, this is a meet that we have to count on everybody to step up. And, if we do that, we would have a good night.
Yeah. We've talked a little bit here this season, boys season, about strength of teams when it comes to being a championship team and strength of team when it comes to being a dual meet team. And those out there that have been listening know that, you go into a dual meet and you can win the event, you can get a first place. But if the opposing team can take 2, 3, 4, they're going to win that event and outscore you. So as I start breaking down things and looking at the results, you guys got out there just outstanding in that medley relay. Just going down some stuff here. You guys get out with a 10-4 lead out of the medley, scoring 2, which is important. Every team can score 2 relays, right? You got 3 or 4 in the water, but 2 can score, and you guys did that in the medley. And then from then on out, man, oh man, you guys go, would you go 8-8 in the 200 free? So you guys tie it up, point wise. So you guys keep a slight lead. And then with Gus and the IM, just outstanding swim. You guys pick up a few more points with a 9-7, point total there. 50, Seaholm picks up the 9-7, so a little bit back and forth. And then we go into diving. So talk to us a little bit about the front half of that meet. You guys are up by a few points. Anything that stood out, any season bests or anything like that you noticed?
Yeah, right out of the gate, our boys came loud. We're cheering really hard for each other. Like you said, we went 1-3 in the medley, and they actually started with the diving. And Seaholm has a tremendous diver that can possibly win the state title this year in it. And our divers, they placed top 16 last year, so they're pretty hungry too. So going into it, we kind of knew Seaholm was probably going to take that. And that was exciting to see the divers kind of push themselves and give themselves some upper degree of difficulties and try some new things. And I think they were up for the challenge, and that was kind of cool to see. But in the 200 freestyle, this is when the meet started to, I don't know what's going to happen type move right here. And one of our guys, Ian Duncan, he went 146.2 season best there. And some of their guys, they start going season best too from some of the results I had been seeing. Our guys too, Jack and Oprah went 151, and Zach Lezovich, he ended up getting 6th place, but season best by 3 seconds, so you can't be upset with those things. Like you said, Angus McDonald, the IM, he was a little bit off his best time there. But he still brings a lot of energy, and he really helps us out big time in all sorts of events that can almost throw him in anything, and he really is up to the challenge. Joey Stebbins as well went a best time and actually got a state cut in the IM there, and then our 50 freestyles came along, and actually had one of my top swimmers out from COVID coming back the day of practice in mind, and there's been a lot of that this year. So I thought the first half of the meet went really well.
All right, so all right. So diving first, and I should know, right? I'm in your pool during girls season, so you take a little break after diving, or where diving would be, and you get a little warm down and stuff, and you get in there, and Seaholm kind of comes out pretty quick there in that fly with a 1-2 finish, and they get about they get 6 points extra on you, so now they're up by a little bit, and then they get 2 more points in the 100 free. Tell me what you're thinking at that point. The first 2 races right after diving, they pick up a ton of points.
Yeah, I mean, they have like a top flyer, Cammie Wilson, on their team, who could contend for the 100 fly title at the D2 state meet. So I knew going into that one, it was going to be a tough race because I wasn't going to load that event up. And, we were both low on depth a little bit in that event. They went 1-2, and then they picked up that 5th crucial point where, like I said, that 5th, 6th, that can be a big difference later on in the meet. A 2-point swing, 1 point in general. And then the 100 freeze came, and, when I looked at the heat sheet, I was like, man, these guys could really, 1-2 us in this event. And, Asa Allen ended up stepping up, and he got second, so that fired us up a little bit. And then we actually got a little bit of help at 4 and 5, having Zach and I can't remember who else was in that event at the time, but they helped us out big time, just getting up some of those other points that those 4th and 5th places matter. So they did a really good job.
That's good, yeah. And at that point, then you guys just start trading off again. You guys go 8-8 in the 5. So even points there for you, but some good solid swims. How are your distance swimmers doing at this point in the season? Probably a little bit more yardage and stuff. How are they responding? How are they racing?
They're feeding off well with each other. I mean, being a distance swimmer myself, you have your own type of training there, and they have their own sets. So they've bonded very well with each other, push each other in practice. One of my other swimmers who didn't swim the distance event, but he's full distance all the time is Angus McDonald. But they're doing really, really well. I think, having the environment we have, the distance swimmers have been doing really well. Best distance group I've had in several years. So I thought those guys did very well at the meet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 2 free relay, Sion picks up a couple points on you, but you guys bounce back backstroke, you guys go 8-8. And then breaststroke, you guys pick up some big, a few points there. So coming out of that breaststroke, are we calling timeout real quick? Are we asking the official to hold on because you finish the breaststroke and you guys are down 1? So it's winner take all. Where are you at? What are you doing with your team at this point after that breaststroke? What are you thinking?
So Carl had 2 heats for the 4 free relay, so we had a little bit of time to kind of mentally prep a little bit. But back in breast, I was kind of hoping for a couple of those depth points right there, and they ended up swinging Seaholm's way a little bit. But going into that 4 free relay, we were talking and this is it. It came down to this. We knew it was going to be a dogfight. It comes down to the last relay. It's assistant coach Bill was saying, it's like all those football games over the weekend came down to the last field goal. Same thing here.
That's right.
And so it was just I had those nerves where you're just so alert throughout the whole meet, and here we go. Everything's real loud. We get our roll tide cheer going on. All of my boys are on the bulkhead. Their boys are on the bulkhead. Mm-hmm. The whole it was just electric, that feeling right there going into that last relay.
That's got to be a heck of a feeling. You guys got a good pool for that too. So just as we get ready for that 4 free relay, you've got Gus winning the breaststroke. And then, so you've got the extra heat of the 400. So he had a few minutes, and then he's going 3rd on your 4 free relay. For those folks at home, we train all year for this, right? So we're not going to say this is hard. But even somebody of that caliber, that is taxing for him with the energy, the adrenaline, and everything. What are you doing with him? He's a role model for your team, even at a young age. He's a very talented swimmer. He's taking care of business, getting the points, and then you got to get him ready for the 4. So how are you working with him, getting ready for that?
I think he's a kid I don't really need to say much to. He's very goal driven. He has high goals beyond this level to get to the collegiate level. And like I said earlier, he's one of our distance kids. Typically, towards the end of the year, he might be swimming the 500. So having that back-to-back training to get up and race and finish your race at the end is perfect for him right now, this time of year, just to see if he can bounce back and, light something up. And, he sure did when he stepped up on the block there.
Yeah, for sure. And then, he goes 48. I think he had the fastest split out of anybody in the pool in the 400. So the kid wins the breaststroke, and then he turns around and goes the fastest time in the pool in the 4. Any thoughts about maybe splitting that 4 free relay up, or you got to load it to win, right?
Yeah, I had thought about possibly splitting it up a little bit, but, at that point, it was 85, 84, Seaholm was up by 1. We just thought, we're like, hey, let's just go for it. We're going to have to see these guys eventually, and there's no splitting up at state meet or any of these championship meets like Oakland counties and league meet. So this is good practice. We can see what they're like. And, I got to say they swam lights out, and I got to give credit to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What do you tell them after the meet?
That's the tough part. Going to the meet, they know that's their crosstown rival. It was, we swam very well, and, there's part of us that we think that we should have won that meet. And, I talk about, hey, they got us at the dual meet, scoring system, but championship scoring, that's a different ball game. And we got a few meets like that coming up here, and, we'll reflect a little bit. Ended up giving them the morning practice off, which, mentally, I think everybody needed at that point, even Seaholm. We just, we come back and we have to put that meet behind us. We learn from what we did at the meet, and every opportunity we step up on the block or hop in the water or get up on the board, we try to get better. So that's kind of the message I sent them.
That's good. And for everybody at home, just as you guys were watching the races, I think they'll see that energy. These are kids that have known each other since they were 5-6 years old, swimming in the NSSL or the Mixa League. And then these are kids that are, living in the same neighborhoods. They've known each other their whole lives. So, the families in the stands. It's good, fun energy. And I think that's, this point of the year when they're broken down and tired, that had to just be an awesome experience for you guys.
Yeah, it was really cool to just even see those times. Both teams surprised me how fast they were swimming, but that's what happens with a rivalry. It brings out the best in both teams, and that's what makes it so cool. And that's why when you see it on the calendar, it's just like, okay, that's the date this year. Make sure you guys are ready to go. And that's I think both teams were ready. It's just one team had the better edge that night.
And because of last year and everything that went on, no stoppages, no interruptions, you're going and there's no issues, there's no, so they this is the point of the season where, it rubber meets the road. So you've got to do it. And I'm glad that David brought that up because, for those who maybe aren't familiar with Birmingham, and the proximity between the schools, it's close. And, again, these kids, like you mentioned, they grew up and they were teammates, I'm sure at a lot of different levels, but they all know that they're going to go to their respective high schools, and it's going to be on. And for those 4 years, it's going to be, I'm coming after you. And just one more time, just if you could talk just about the intensity of the rivalry, respectful rivalry, but, the rivalry itself in the time that you've spent at Groves, between Groves and Seaholm, because in boys swimming especially, it's one of the best.
Oh, it truly is. I got to tell you a story from 5-6 years ago. One day I was in the weight room and I, for whatever reason, wore, a maroon shirt that day in the weight room. And a big, rookie mistake as a coach.
Yeah,
and the football coach walks in and says, "Forrest, you got to get that." That's something, another word other than stuff. But he took that off, and he like, "What size are you?" I was like, XL, and he threw me a Groves football jersey, and I think that at that point I was like, I'm involved in this community, and it's a special feeling. And I gotta say, I've really kind of developed, getting into this rivalry. Kind of like how I went to school at Michigan State, same thing with Michigan. I feel like that intense about the rivalry. And like you said, too, we respect each other like tremendously. And that's what makes it so fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
getting ready, I know you guys had a crazy week, right? If I remember talking to you, you guys had like 3 meets in 7 days or something like that. And this was the last one.
Yeah, so we had 3 meets in 5 days, and typically you don't want to do that in terms of it just interrupts training a little bit here and there, and coming off a meet, you want to have a teeny bit of recovery, get back up. But Thursday before we were at Rochester High, and one of my seniors at that meet, he ended up getting his state cut in the 500 freestyle, which is really cool to see, and he had never gotten a cut before, and that was awesome.
Nice.
And then we had a quad meet that Saturday that we had ended up hosting against some top teams in the state. We had Brother Rice here, Ann Arbor Skyline, and then University of Detroit Jesuit. So that was a fun meet to be a part of. And then, here comes Seaholm on Tuesday. So, it was a lot of racing in a short amount of time, and it was fun.
Yeah,
you guys. I'm back to the training now and start doing my coaching.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You guys done with meets now till counties, or you got something next week?
No, we just have a county meet, and then we have a senior night Thursday after that, and then just league meet, diving regional, state meet. So
nice. So just kind of transition here a little bit, looking at these couple of big meets we got coming up. Counties first. Not everybody has their times in the swim cloud as much as we'd like, but right now, as of this afternoon here on the 28th, you and Seaholm are 1-2 in all the relays, trading off there. They got one and you guys got a couple. Gus is up top, in a couple swims. Like you said, Cammie Wilson out of Seaholm's got some solid swims. They got the diving. What are you looking forward to here? A week from tonight, divers are in the water for counties, so you guys are about a week out from swimming. So what are you doing with your kids? What are you getting ready, and any kids you're looking forward to see racing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to a lot of racing at that meet for sure. I mean, there's some first-timers that are qualified for our Oakland County meet, which is just a great experience, just getting them ready for our league and our state meets, which are truly our focus at the end of the year for the championship season. But that county meet, it can be very electric, as I've swam in it in the past, and just being a coach in it, a lot of those teams they come to play at that meet. So I'm looking forward, number one, seeing if we can hang with some of the best teams in the county, because it can be a good indication about where some of these teams might be come state meet. So it should be exciting to see some of the relays that are really tight in there, and then it gives, what I love about county meet is it gives every single kid there and a great opportunity to race just because their times are so close.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're mixing in the private schools, all three divisions are going to be there. Country Day is going to be there. CC's coming in, and a lot of teams we're seeing in the top 10 across all three state meets. So it's going to be exciting for you guys. So mornings all the way next week. You back down a little bit. What are you doing with training?
Yeah, for county meet, I typically, I make sure I still do that morning. This point in the season, I might get a few laughs here, but this is the point where the athletes start to not like the coaches that much.
Yeah,
and,
right, exactly.
Typically, what I do that Wednesday, and not just because of that, just because we have pandemic stuff going on and all that. That Wednesday, I typically do an optional practice and just fine tweak some starts and turns that day, and then Friday will be kind of off. But training wise, I still kind of want to go pretty hard for the most part, a teeny bit for that Friday, just to give them an opportunity to just see what they can do that Saturday.
It's good. It's good. And you guys are, trimesters are done, right? You guys aren't worried about exams or anything. Boys just got their minds focused on the meet, right?
Yeah, not till state meet, unfortunately.
Oh boy.
But that's just typically because all three seasons you got fall, winter, spring, and trimesters. That's just when it ends up going for state meet. So yeah, I don't have to worry anything right now currently, but later on, make sure I tell my boys, like, if you have to miss an exam, make sure you communicate, and hopefully they do that.
Very good.
Right on. Well, hey, we appreciate you taking some time tonight and talking a little Groves swimming, and good luck the rest of the season. And, we'll definitely see you out there at states for sure. But have a great county meet. And once again, thanks for taking some time with us.
No problem. Roll Tide, and thanks for having me on.
All right. Well, thank you guys for another great show. David and I will be back next week with another guest. Remember, you could watch or listen to the Poolside Podcast. Videos uploaded weekly on our website, social media, and State Champs TV YouTube channel. Or you can listen to the audio podcast by going to whatever the platform is of your choice, Apple, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, any platform you prefer. Shows uploaded on Wednesdays, and all you can do, you can just Google Poolside Podcast. It'll come up for you. I want to thank our sponsors, Lawrence Tech, the Michigan High School Athletic Association, DMC Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Team, the DAC Foundation's Male and Female Athlete of the Year Awards, and the Goodman Acker Law Firm. We thank Ricky Forrest once again for joining us. And for David, I'm Lorne. We'll see you next Wednesday with another edition of State Champs Michigan's Poolside Podcast. Be well.